So Sleepy Joe dropped out. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it was probably I kind of expected it to happen. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, it was just a matter of when, and today was when. And he's already found a replacement candidate. I'm sure that everyone was expecting it to be Kamala Harris, and it was Kamala Harris. We've already had Donald Trump give his thoughts, and I'm gonna say tweet it, but I don't give a fuck. Truth Social about it, about his opinion on Kamala
Truth Social
being his opponent, and yeah. So I mean, there's a few reasons why. I mean, obviously Joe dropped out. One mainly being his health. The guy can't even get a fucking sentence completed, and two, his popularity was not looking too good, and I think the Democrats knew that. I know that a lot of Democrats that were close to Joe were, I guess, kind of informing him that, like, it's a wrap. Like, you gotta go. And Joe was a little defiant at first. He was like, nope, we're fucking doing this shit. And then I guess today they changed his mind, as I expected. I was honestly, if it wasn't this weekend, I was gonna be like, it's gonna be in like a couple months. And it was this weekend, and yeah, it happened. So I do want to read the Trump's reaction to it. I want to read Kamala's reaction to it, and then we'll give our thoughts on everything. First, I'll read Trump's, which is right here.
Before you do, I must say this. Bye-bye, Sleepy Joe. We don't miss you. You can go back on to your wannabe Epstein Island molesting more altar boys. We won't miss you. Hope you're on in hell. You fucking senile fuck. Suck my dick. Okay, now you can read.
Alright, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read Trump's thing, and then we're gonna give our thoughts on that, and then I'll read Kamala's right after. Anyways, so Donald Trump says, crooked Joe Biden was not fit to run for president, and is certainly not to serve. And he never was. He only attained the position of president by lies, fake news, and not leaving his basement. All those around him, including his doctor and the media, knew that he wasn't capable of being president, and he wasn't. And now look what he's done to our country. What millions of people across our border, totally unchecked and unvetted, many from prisons, mental institutions, and record numbers of terrorists. We will suffer greatly because of his presidency, but we will remedy the damage he has done very quickly, make America great again, blah, 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 whatever. So, I mean, if you're going to ask, my thoughts on, Trump's statement here and, I guess him running in general, obviously I'm not going to be repping him in this election like I was 4 years ago, mainly for the fact that, with everything that's unfolded, since 2020 and 2021, there's a few things that, I didn't like, and also I've kind of grown out of the whole conservative idea in general. But yeah, so will I be repping Kamala Harris either? I mean, I don't really feel like right now I would. Maybe if there's something done about the whole situation in Israel and Palestine, maybe if there's like some economic issues she could fix, I don't know, because, her and Joe don't completely align, because she was calling for ceasefires way before Joe Biden was talking to doing that. So for me, I'm just going to sit it out, but I'll let you, you could take the floor now.
Well, okay, so the Trump thing is your usual, same old crap he said. It's like, you kind of predict him to say this crap. It's just, like, boring at this point. I'm like, yawn. I'm definitely not going to rep Trump for similar reasons to you, especially with how he managed COVID, how he screwed that up royally, and the response to him losing the election like a big baby, and so on and so forth. Definitely not going to rip Kamala Harris either, because as much as I hate Trump, I hate Kamala Harris 10 times more, because her history is just terrible. She only got to where she is because she had to literally suck dick to get there. She's literally a hoe, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, not a good fucking look. And not to mention when she was like the judge or prosecutor, the fuck she was doing. She would just send innocent people to jail for marijuana. Let that sink in. This is not a person who should be even running this country. There's a reason why she was never popular. It's basically the rematch of 2016, but 10 times worse. At least Hillary Clinton had Bill Clinton to leech off of. What does Kamala Harris have to leech off of? Apart from sausages, of course. Apart from dicks.
All I'm gonna say is, like, if she can actually, like, make a convincing case, because at this point, like, we've been here with the Trump presidency. Like, it's a dead fucking concept. The tax cuts aren't sustainable. The COVID handling was shit, and I'm like, I feel like at this point, if you don't acknowledge that, like, there's some level of like disingenuous behavior going on. Again, unless she actually does something convincing, which I mean, there's a chance she does, and there's a chance she does. I don't really know if I'm gonna be voting or anything, but yeah, like I said, that's basically my thoughts on it. I'm gonna let her campaign and debate Trump and see where she goes from there. But until then, like, really right now, I'm not moved by either the Republican or the Democratic side. I will read Kamala's little spiel here after being represented by Biden and endorsed by Biden. On behalf of the American people, I thank Joe Biden for his extraordinary leadership as President of the United States and for his decades of service to our country. I'm honored to have the President's endorsement, and my intentions is to earn and win this nomination. I will do everything in my power to unite the Democratic Party and unite the nation to defeat Donald Trump and his Extreme Project 2025 agenda, and if you're with me, add a donation right now. So,
very not impressed. I mean, granted, I'm willing to give her a chance for that. It's like, okay, it's the first thing, whatever. But I have to ask one question. You need to get a VP and fast, because that could probably help you. Because from what I've seen with Trump's VP, I'm pretty much neutral because I don't really know this guy. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't even think the fans are really all that impressed either. So
they are not. They are not. They are not.
They're quite mixed, to say the least. So you can get a good VP. Not fucking Gavin Newsom. Not that fucking potential pedophile. Don't get him. You can get someone with some respect. Like that. Who's that one guy? Fucking. He's gay, I believe.
I know who you're. I know who you're talking about.
Pete something.
Yeah.
Pete Buttigieg. If you get him, you might be able to swing some voters away because he's more respected.
Yeah. I mean, when I was looking at before they announced, because I already knew it was going to be Kamala. I think everyone fucking knew it was going to be Kamala before Biden dropped out, or after Biden dropped out. But
sadly,
I mean, a few people did come to mind. For this, I was, even people who said that they don't want to run, like Michelle. I was thinking if it was going to be Michelle, she probably would have actually beat Trump. I was thinking, like, at the time, like, she was really the only Democrat that I can actually see, like, having a chance. I mean, I don't even think she would have a chance. I think she would just genuinely beat him. Obviously, as old as he fucking is, I don't even know if he wants to run anymore. Clearly not. Bernie Sanders was also one that came to mind. But yeah, obviously it did come down to Kamala. There's a few other things I want to unpack on this thing, though, because obviously we're not super active on this channel. I also want to talk about the Trump attempted assassination. So what do you feel about that overall?
A giant shit show. Now, personally, I don't like politicians, and I've always kind of jokingly around said a good politician's a dead one by type of shit. But at the same time, to be honest, it's like it's a really bad idea, mainly because you're helping Trump in the long term. It's like it's not really good, and people reacting like, "Oh, you should have gotten him." It's like, okay, yeah, it's kind of funny to say, but it makes you look really bad. Granted, the right has also overreacted to that shit. I mean, just look at the Tenacious D controversy, where like Kyle Glass made like a corny little jokes, like,
I want to talk about the Destiny stuff too.
Oh, we'll get into him, but like for the Tenacious D stuff, like he made it like a very distasteful little joke, and people overreacted. It's like, okay, yeah, it was a bad joke, criticized, fine, but it's like you're doing too much. You're getting to the point where they might actually break up, which is cool, man. You can't do that. Like, Tenacious D rules, okay? Jack Black's great, but that's besides the point. Like, we see it. You see people like Destiny, who is basically showing his true colors and showing why lefties get the kind of stereotype of being, well, deranged morons.
You know what, though? As deranged as he's been, I do kind of see where he's coming from. He's just so fucking over the top with it. Like, in a sense, like, obviously not the guy, the supporter who died, the whatever, the fucking old guy that was just there. Him, like, I do feel sympathy for, even though I'd more than likely disagree with him. I think all those MAGA hat wearing weirdos or whatever. I do agree with Destiny in the fact that you probably shouldn't really feel any sympathy towards Trump, even if you don't think he should have died. The fact that his life was in danger, when you consider all the things, when you consider everything that happened during his presidency, like, what's there really to feel sympathetic about? And I guess you could say that about any politician if you're that type of person. I am in some cases, but
I would say it's because they're a human being. Yes, they disagree, like, they pretty much have ideologies, like, things that are bad, but you should never, like, stoop to the low of, like, killing them, because, like, let's say if Trump did die because of the circumstance, what makes you think that the right's not going to do the same thing to, like...
Oh, yeah, I understand that, but I'm saying, in a sense, even though he said, even though he was very over the top about it, I do not think that anyone, after January 6th, after the handling of COVID, after freaking... the Russia cum guzzling, do I think people should feel sympathetic towards the fact that Trump almost lost his life? No. I don't think that. It is what it is. The shooter apparently was a registered Republican who had also donated like $15 to some Democratic thing. I don't know exactly what it was.
It's been a shit show because I've heard shit like that, and then I also heard shit like he's a far leftist Antifa member, so the details are completely blurry.
Yeah, then there's like other people saying like he was a centrist, and then I hear some stories that like people are saying that he had Trump signs in front of his fucking lawn in the past 2 elections. Like, it's been like a fucking, like, I don't even know what this fucking guy. Now, when you look at the picture of him, I'm not going to pull it up because I fucking forgot to get it, and whatever, you can easily
He looks like a leftist, I'll say this, he looks like a pedophile.
I would say he more actually looks like the typical incel, which you kind of, like, those typical school shooter, type people that you would expect to fucking... do that kind of thing.
So basically millennial black pill and wrestling otaku. Gotcha.
Except he wasn't fat. He was actually really skinny.
and also black and doesn't look like a domestic abuser.
So with all that being said, do I think would it be a good thing? I honestly I think MAGA would have gotten somehow stronger had Trump actually died, but do I think like it's a good thing to go out and shoot the president? I mean, no. Trump isn't even the president right now, so I mean, what if he loses? I don't fucking know. But again, I do see the people saying that like you shouldn't feel sympathy towards him, especially when conservatives like they make jokes about all sorts of kind of shit. Like there was the George Floyd thing, and then Nancy Pelosi's husband. Like I can understand why people kind of see like a double standard in a way, where like you can make fun of our guy, or like people on our side, but we can't do the same to you. In that way, yes, I do understand it, and I personally don't feel really any sympathy towards Trump at all. Again, I've explained it, the things that he did during his presidency doesn't warrant any sympathy from me. He was a fucking terrible president, so, yeah, that's just where I stand on that side.
Yeah, I can see that. I pretty much agree. It's like, okay, you shouldn't necessarily feel bad, but I wouldn't say you should be like, oh, you actually want it to happen, because it's kind of a little bit deranged. I'd be like, if having to like say Joe Biden or some shit, or Kamala Harris, if that happens, like, oh, good, it's like, not the best look, especially in the case of one of the supporters, like, they didn't do it, they just happened to, unfortunately, anyone that would feel like the person who died or some shit in that case, go fuck yourself, you're a piece of shit, and Destiny, you're a cuck. I mean, and also it's kind of funny, speaking of Destiny, he showed more outrage for like a random Trump supporter than when his wife led him. Like, what a fucking bitch. And got to mention that.
I also, again, I don't think that the supporter should have died. I mean, obviously, like, belief-wise, he was a fucking idiot. Like, anyone who goes to those fucking rallies and like fucking like guzzles his fucking jizz, like, obviously those people are fucking dumb. Should you lose your life over that? No. I mean, should you probably like get your fucking head checked and go to therapy? More than likely, yeah, because you're fucking brainwashed to the most extreme fucking level in the Western society. But yeah, the guy should have lost his life, and I think like Destiny like say, oh no, I don't feel sympathy for the guy who died. Like, well, like that's fucking dumb. But yeah, again, like with Trump, like I really don't give a fuck. And I think we've covered just about everything. Again, when it comes to Kamala, you know, I'm gonna see what she does in the next coming months. Hopefully, I'm moved to vote for her because again, I'd rather anything but a Trump presidency at this point. And as for the fucking Trump shooter, like I already said my piece on that. So
R.I.P. So God bless his family. Hope for the best. He didn't deserve it. Even if we don't agree with his shit. But all I can say is that I have a very suspicious feeling that we're probably going to be one side me probably more Trump leaning than you be more Kamala once the presidency happens. We'll wait and see. I can't wait for that god awful debate because that's gonna be fun shit to watch.
I do hope. I will say this. I'll have my little closing thoughts on this. I hope both, not only Kamala but Trump, especially considering the last debate, you know, answers more questions about Gaza. Like I already know where Trump leans on it. Kamala, not entirely. I know she called for a ceasefire, but I still want to hear more. Trump, I would love if he didn't, you know, dodge questions. It'd be a lot more respectable of him to actually answer questions, even if I disagree. And when it comes to economic things, I mean, Trump's gonna do his fucking tax cuts. It's inevitable at this point. It's the only thing he knows how to do, and people will fucking run to the sheep to the fucking slaughter. They're gonna fucking fall for it because they're fucking stupid and they don't actually understand how the economy works or how capitalism works.
Gotta make money, you know, I make lots of money. I made billions of dollars. I had a small loan of $1 million of grabbing women by the pussy. You know, it's just kind of what I do. Yeah,
and as for Kamala, I don't know what she's going to do economically. I don't even really know where she leans on it. Because, like, it's so hard to tell considering Biden was, you know, in control the whole time. Or if you want to say that Jill and Obama were in control, then whatever.
It was an inside job. Wait, wrong channel. We're not talking about fags.
Yeah, anyways, so that being said, we will, you know, make some updates. I do want to see a couple of Kamala's campaigns when she picks her VP, we're going to make a video on that, hopefully. And, yeah, we're going to be covering this whole cycle because it's fucking election season and it gets worse every fucking time. So.
God bless America.